So we're going through these back roads, and there was just this little court, just in the middle, like next to a gas station. And they had like lights on, and they were like playing a full game. And Justin was like, "Let's just go run with them." And we got out the court. We got out the car, and we got on the court, and we just started playing with them, man. And they were like so happy, like.
Yeah.
With the basketball world still abuzz about The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary that premiered a couple of days ago on Netflix, para dito sa mga nasa Pilipinas, dito sa 2OT, we are lucky enough to get to invite one of the biggest and most outspoken LeBron fans on this side of the Pacific, Carlo Pamintuan. We are going to be joined by Sol Mercado himself.
What's up, y'all? What's up? Thanks for having me.
And of course,
thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, that documentary dropped a couple of days ago, and initial reactions to the first two parts for you, Saul.
Man, it's awesome. I love it. Can't wait for the next episodes to come out. It's kind of cool on, you know what I'm saying? Just watching the first two episodes, you want more. But yeah, man, it's good. I'm a huge. People think, just because I'm a LeBron fan that I can't be a Jordan fan. I'm a huge Jordan fan. So it's good to watch all that history. I could watch that stuff all day. Not just on the Bulls, but any team. I just love that, saying that behind the scenes stuff and the storytelling and all that. I could watch that all day.
So we all grew up in the Michael Jordan era. What's the best memory you have just watching Michael Jordan?
Best memory? I honestly liked seeing him come back. When he left, missing him and seeing how the Bulls were without him, and then when he just kind of came back. Going through the number change at 45, and seeing him, kind of struggle a little bit, and then going back to his old number, like that whole time for me was pretty dope.
Why do you think basketball fans, not all, but a lot, have to draw lines, have to put up fences like that? Like if you're a Jordan fan, you just got to be a Jordaner. If you're a Kobe fan, if you're a LeBron fan, everybody likes to argue about these kinds of things. A lot of some people more passionately than others.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that go pretty overboard with it and pretty crazy with it. But I mean, I think it's just it's up for debate. People have their favorites, and then they'll argue of why they feel like they're the best. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, they're all the GOAT. Kobe, Jordan, LeBron. Like I feel like in their realm and what they do in their era, man, I think they're all of those. I mean, you could even go back. I mean, obviously, I always say when people talk about, people always say the rings, they make, go by the rings, and obviously Jordan has the most. But if you're gonna say that, then Bill Russell has to be a GOAT. Is there? You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like it doesn't necessarily have to just be one. Obviously, Jordan transcended the game, so like. In that era and just what he's done for the game total, he kind of has this whole, I feel like he was the first like international, just mega star, you know what I'm saying? So to be the first is kind of, hard to argue with that. So really hold on to
I
that.
never thought I'd live in the day that I'd hear that. Guaps, can you edit that out? Sol Mercado actually said Kobe is the GOAT. That's it. Make that and we'll release it on Twitter, and you just
put it on repeat.
I never thought I'd hear that ever.
The thing, my whole thing with Kobe, and when obviously Kobe and LeBron were the comparison for a long time, right? My whole thing with Kobe is we've seen him before in Jordan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's literally the Jordan. Like everything he does, everything who he is, but he hasn't been as good, right? So he's a kind of you would say a copycat or another version, but we've never seen a LeBron. we've never seen something that he has done, what he's doing in the game. We've never seen that before. He is literally the only one. I mean, you could say maybe Oscar Robinson, but he's even doing more than he's done. You know what I'm saying? So
he's a linebacker with Magic Johnson skills.
Right. He's
and some more.
He's just a mixture of a whole bunch of greats. You know what I'm saying? He's a specimen as well. Like you said, he's a linebacker.
So what set Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron apart are really they are intense competitors. And I mean, very early in your career, we also saw that from you. You came into the league, as Magu said, and you hit the ground running. Can you tell us more of how the entire transfer to the Philippines came about for you? Was that a difficult decision, uprooting your life from the States and just taking a bet on yourself and starting out here?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I actually never been out the country at all before I made this trip to the Philippines. So, I mean, it was definitely scary, but it was something that I knew that I wanted to do. I wanted to play basketball for a living, and this was something I needed to do. Actually, when I first got out here, it was such a huge shock for me. I was actually ready to go home. I was ready to be like, I'm done with this, because I wasn't in a great situation. I was living in MERCADO, and this small little condo that was, I could probably touch both both walls are stretching out. You know what I'm saying? My bathroom was right next to my bed. But I mean, it was tough for me trying to catch taxis to practicing at Reyes Gym, with sitting out in that heat, waiting for taxis. You know how taxis were. They didn't want to take you, and if they did, they want to charge you extra. And, so it was...
Especially you, because you talk English.
Yeah, right.
It's always double, huh?
Always. So, I mean, that was rough for me. And until I met Gabe, our first game. And he was kind of going through the same thing. So we just kind of were like, hey, we're going to stick together. And then Jimmy Alapa took us under his wing. Really me more than Gabe, but because I moved in with Jimmy, started to live with him and see how he was being a professional. And that's really where it started for me, man. I saw the work that he put in. I saw just how he competed, how he was a professional. And just try to take notes. So when I came in the league, I just kind of wanted to prove myself. I always played that way, though. Ever since I was a kid, just always played with a chip on my shoulder. Always had that competitive spirit of hating to lose. My mom would tell stories, and when I lost, I would cry. You know what I'm saying? So I just hated losing, and whatever it took. It came out sometimes as I was younger and in the worst way, because I wanted to win so much. It kind of took over, but as I got older, I learned how to channel that.
You touched on Jimmy taking care of you back and then, and he's been legendary with all Phil Amps from all over the States coming to Manila. Jimmy's helped out a lot of you guys, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I would probably say I was the first. The first of the ones. Well, obviously his nephew, because it was me and his nephew. His nephew didn't make it, but yeah, I would say I was probably the first that he helped out, and he would always tell me and Gabe that it started with Aussie, with him. You know what I'm saying? Aussie kind of took him under his wing, and he would tell us that this is going to go by so fast. You're going to have another Phil Am come out here and make sure you guys pay it forward. You're going to be doing the same thing I'm doing for you guys. And he was absolutely right. He was like, before you know it, 10 years is going to be over in the league like that. And he knew exactly what he was talking about, because I guess that's what Aussie told him. So that's kind of what we do. I'm paying it forward with Simon and doing the same thing for Simon now.
You touched on having Gabe as one of your first friends here in Manila. You get drafted by Alaska, get traded for Joe Devance, and all of a sudden, Fire and Ice was born in rain or shine. You debut in the PBA with 29 points. What was going through your head then?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty crazy, because that first game, obviously all the hype was about Gabe.
Yeah.
But we had three rookies, I believe, start that game, which was me, T.Y. Tang, and Gabe. And Gabe wasn't really a huge scorer like that. He wasn't known for being a scorer. He was more of a do everything type of player. So I kind of just came in with the mentality like I was just gonna kill. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it was, I was gonna come out and be super aggressive. And that's actually what Coach Kaloy wanted, was for me to come out and be super aggressive. And I just got into a rhythm early and ran with it.
So did you have that feeling that the partnership with Gabe, would last for a while? Did you have that comfort that you'd be playing beside this guy for the years to come?
Oh yeah, we thought we were gonna play our whole careers together. We thought we were gonna be like JJ and Mark Kagiwa, you know what I'm saying, the Fast and the Furious. So there was some things that got in the way of that, but really it was a great time, man, to be teammates with him, because we did everything together. We lived together. We had one car. We were married pretty much. So we had a condo together. We had one car together. We spent all our time together. So that friendship off the court definitely translated on the court. Like I would have done anything for that guy on the court, and the same vice versa.
You guys were together over there for about 3 years. Gabe was number 1. You were number 5 in that draft class, and you played together 3 years till you got traded. But I remember that one All-Star game. It was Lawag, if I'm not mistaken. And it was Kuya Miko Lili who branded you guys Fire and Ice. And you guys definitely put on a show. All of your fans were like, we wish you guys played together again. What was the feeling when you were finally on the same side with Gabe again, putting on a show like that?
Yeah, it was awesome. I remember Aaron Itati at the time. He was telling us like, man, you guys should try and work out getting back together on the same team again. And it was just like our chemistry is dope, just because of our friendship off the court. We're always looking for each other, and we talk about this all the time that social media wasn't big back then when we were coming up, you know what I'm saying? Because what we were doing as our rookie and second year in the league, we were killing the league. Like, you know what I'm saying? Putting on shows, throwing alley-oops off the backboard. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a time that I think it was either a rookie or a second year in the league. I was number 1 in free throws made and attempts. He was number 2. Like we are always top 5 in the league in scoring and assists. So like to be doing that in our first couple of years in the league, if social media was around, we probably would have been a bigger name or a bigger duo. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely talk about that all the time, of just being together again. We even talked about it this time now, since I'm a free agent, of just trying to get back over there and finish it off together. But we'll see.
Just saying hi to our viewers on Facebook now, to Mayor Res Rivera, to Webster, John Ballesteros, Bea Micalier, John L. Ruiz, Nico Wahe, Gladys Precious Reyes, Marco Veron Cruz, Limel Padua, Connie Reyes is watching with Randolph Alba, and Diema Esito with Jake Flores, Vito Cruz. Sol, one thing that is very clear to me is that every time I hear news that you were traded, the first question in my mind was, why is he traded? I mean, for the teams that you were a part of, for Rain or Shine, even for Meralco, I mean, you were such an important part of those squads. Did you get blindsided by the times that you were let go from these squads?
Well, interesting enough, from Rain or Shine, I had selfishly requested that trade. There was obviously, I was immature, and I think that's what really started it all was me requesting that trade, because Coach Yang was going to be the coach. And that was only because obviously I didn't know how Coach Yang was at that time, but we had played against his team. I think it was Burger King at that time. And I had got into it with Rabah Al-Husseini, because they were winning and we had fouled him. We had obviously have to foul at the end, to try and have him shoot free throws and score, right? So it was just a duty foul. We needed a foul, and he kind of like got mad that we fouled him. And he was a rookie at that time. And I was just like, we got to foul you. And I started, saying something to him. And so his brother was on the bench, Carlos Sharma. He starts yapping at me. And then Coach Yang starts talking to me. So after the game, we're walking to the tunnel, and I'm like, what's up, Robert? Coach Yang comes and pushes me. So after that, and then, there was some times where he would, that's how Coach Yang is. He talks to the players on the court and stuff like that. And so at that time, I was like, I will never play for this guy. And I had a good relationship with Coach Kaloy. I remember me and Gabe were on vacation. I think it might have been a Palawan or Baraka or something like that when we got the news that Coach Kaloy was going to be replaced. And I kind of was like, man, I only want to play for Coach Kaloy. So I was like, I don't want to play for this guy. He put his hands on me, blah, blah, real immature. So I had requested that they traded me. So that's why I got traded from Rain or Shine initially. And I wish, honestly, I didn't do that, because I would have loved to play for Coach Yang under his system, how he is, how down he is for his players, how he has his players' backs. Like, I would love to be around that kind of environment. But I did that and went to Morocco, and that one blindsided me because I had just led the league in scoring and assists.
Yeah.
And I got traded right after that. So, and I felt like we had a great team. Like me, Chris Ross, Mark Cardona, Ossie. Like, we had a squad that I felt like we were right there on the brink. We had just went to the semis. So like that one really blindsided me, but it kind of made sense because me and Ryan Gregorio didn't really see eye to eye. There was some things, it might have been a cultural difference, but there were some things that he kind of said to me personally, and I don't want to throw him under the bus because I still think he's a great guy. We talked, we have talked since then, and we're cool. But there are some things that he kind of said to me personally about my family and stuff that didn't rub me the right way. And everybody knows I'm outspoken, so I had said some things to him, so I think that's why he might have traded me. But from there, obviously I had to grow up and learn a lot from there. I went to Globalport.
Yeah.
And that was a fun time. You know what I'm saying? I had Japeth. There was a time where I had Japeth and Justin Williams. And
you were there for the MMDA too, right? With Gary David and
yeah.
That was a crazy lineup.
Yeah, that was fun time. That was a fun time. So, from there, where'd I go? San Miguel?
Yeah, San Miguel first.
San Miguel.
You were traded for Cabagnot. For Alex Cabagnot, yeah.
So from Globalport, obviously going from, a scorer, someone that always had the rock in his hand and kind of making everything happen. I went from there to San Miguel with an opportunity to win.
Yeah.
Right. And winning meant everything to me, so when I went to that team, I was told, like that I don't need to do those things, that I could just kind of try and fit in, play a role, that this is a winning team, that you got all these weapons, and try and fit in. So when the time came to trade me, it was kind of because my numbers were down. Right. I wasn't producing as much, but I'm like, okay, well, I'm not playing as aggressive as I was before, because I was told I don't need to do that. We have Jumar, we have, all these players that, it's a different role. And also the coach that had traded for me got fired, right? Todd Purse. So I think that's why they went in another direction with that.
And those were the times where they were having a carousel of coaches as well before they finally landed with Coach Leo Austria. And it's been working for them, I guess, too.
Right. I mean, it was only a matter of time before that team got it together. They were just too good.
And I remember that trade, Saul, because it was right before the playoffs started.
Mm-hmm.
Right before the trade deadline, they pulled the trigger with that trade, sending you to Globalport and getting back Alex Cabagnot.
And we were number one.
Exactly.
We were number one. We were number one in the whole league. I think we were like 9-2 or something like that. And everything was hitting. We were hitting on all cylinders. We were destined to win the championship. We could feel it in practice. We could feel in the way we were playing that season that we were going to win it that season. And that's why it really hurt. that one really, really hurt because it was like, man, that could have been my first championship. I really felt like we were going to win it, and they did win it. But I was traded, the day after the last elimination game, right before the playoffs. That one hurt.
It was, right at the deadline. And then the story goes, after all of the uncertain times with you being traded left and right, Global Port, Meralco Global Port, San Miguel back to Global Port, somehow, finally, you found yourself a home under Coach Tim Cone at Barangay Ginebra. You weren't playing the same role that we got accustomed to, with you dropping 30, 20 or something like that. But it was effective with that group and with Coach Tim Cone.
Yeah, I mean, being in that with that opportunity, I would always say, like, it was all worth it to go through all those teams and learn and have to grow. And I felt like that came at the perfect time because I learned lessons from each and every trade, each and every coach that I was with, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like it grew me not just as a player, but as a person. And so to be with Coach Tim, obviously everyone knows how he is. He classified roles and really put me in a role, and I wanted to star in my role. And that was, you know what I'm saying, being a ball mover, being a defender, being a leader, and so I fit into that role perfectly, and it was successful. And just being around all those guys, especially with the fans that we have, it's a whole different realm. Like I tell people all the time, I wish each and every person in the PBA could, for one time at one point of their career, play for Ginebra, because it's a different. Like, obviously I played on different teams. It's just a different experience, you know what I'm saying? Because you have those fans and the love that they give you each and every game, the crowds that you play in front of, the fan support in practice and out of the court. It's a whole different realm.
You mentioned earlier that being outspoken might have gotten you misunderstood or in trouble with your previous teams. Did you have to tone it down for Barangay Ginebra, or was there just nothing else left to say? You were just filling your role and doing your job and finding success?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I found ways. My intentions were always in the right direction because it was always on. I was a competitor and I wanted to win, whatever it took to win. So as I learned, especially learning the culture out here, I had to learn, what things worked with teammates and coaches. And so as I grew and I learned, I started to see how my voice could be heard in a different way. I could still be outspoken, but there's ways to do it. You know what I'm saying? I could still be a leader and still help a team win, but there's ways to do it. And I had to learn that. And I learned a lot of that from Coach Tim, to be honest. And Joe. Joe really, really taught me a lot. Joe, Mark, and being around those vets, those guys that, obviously are the same way, but, kind of taught me how to do it. But yeah, I mean, it was something that I needed in my career was to be around that type of environment, that type of coaching. And it was successful. Obviously I won my first championship and ended up winning 3.
So just going back to that first championship, of course, we all know that Justin Brownlee was not the original pick for an import for Barangay Ginebra. Paul Harris actually played a game for you and broke his hand in the first game. But at what can you remember at what point of the tournament, that conference, did you figure out that Justin Brownlee was this one-of-a-kind import that would not only win a championship but be a legend in the PBA?
The funny story is, his first practice, we were like, oh God, we're in trouble. Like, we were like, this dude is trash. Like, we could tell he was skilled. Like, you could tell he could shoot the ball a little bit, could move, but Justin, the way he is in practice, there's a different switch he hits when the lights turn on and he's playing in front of those fans. There is a different switch he hits. So I remember in practice, we were like, oh man, we're in trouble. He was like cramping up in practice. Obviously we all know he has cramping problems. So he was cramping up in practice, not making it through whole practices. And I remember, I think it was Alaska, we played his first game. And me and Joe were on the bench, and we were like, he started doing stuff. He just turned it up. We were like, oh, he's different. He's a little different when the lights come on. So, and he just got better and better. And to be honest with you, even after his first time out here, he came back. He was even better. Like he just it might have just clicked in his head. It was like, man, I could really do something out here. And he put the work in. Justin is like, he is an incredible hard worker. I was just telling Simon, we were watching The Last Dance. And this is, I don't know if this will be taken the wrong way or what, but watching The Last Dance and seeing Jordan, Kobe and all that, to me, Justin is them. He's Jordan. He's Kobe. Like, and the reason why is because he idolizes Kobe. You know, Kobe's his favorite player. So like the way he walks, the way he works, the way he talks, like all that, it's almost like it's Jordan, Kobe, and then Justin. Like it's like he is in that type of mold, which is crazy to say because obviously those are greats. But like I really feel that way about Justin. And shout out to Justin, man. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, brother. I love you.
Happy birthday. And we've heard that from a number of people already, Saul. I don't think this is a mock or a slight, but Justin Brownlee has been described as the Jordan or Kobe of Philippine basketball. If you put it on this setting, JB or Justin Brownlee just seems to be perfect to dominate this stage.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I agree with that 100%.
Closest thing to Jordan or Kobe that we've ever seen in the PBA, at least in this era. But off the court, Justin Brownlee has, this personality that when he puts on a jersey, he'll kill you. He is a killer. But out of it, I mean, can you describe how he is as a person?
I mean, me and Justin spent a lot of time off the court together. So, I see him in that element of being off the court. And he's one of the most caring guys for his fans and the people. Like he cares about people, genuinely cares about people. And it's not a facade. It's not something he does for to get noticed or, recognition or anything. He really does it because he cares about people. Not even just people that can't help themselves, but, even his brothers, if we need something, he's there for us. That's just the type of person he is. He's super quiet to himself. He likes to just chill and hang out. He's not someone that likes to go, and do a bunch of stuff. Although we have gone to like Boracay and got on the jet skis and done stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, he's the way that he is on the court, just coming out to kill you. You could kind of see his personality in that because he doesn't talk shit. He doesn't say anything. Sorry, I'm not sure if I can say that.
Okay, that's cool.
He doesn't talk mess. He just to himself. Everyone sees that, you know what I'm saying, that he's very even keel on the court, and that's kind of how he is off the court.
And there have been legendary instances of him just hanging out in different barangays with the masses, with the people, with the actual people who really support Philippine basketball and the PBA. Have you done anything like that?
Yeah, we actually have done that together a couple times. There's been times where we were going, I think we might have been coming from like eating or something, having a meal, and we were going through like these back roads that Waze was taking. Waze would take you through some back roads sometimes. So we're going through these back roads, and there was just this little court just in the middle, like next to a gas station. And they had like lights on, and they were like playing a full game. And Justin was like, let's just go run with them. And we got out the court. I mean, we got out the car and we got on the court and we just started playing with them, man. And they were like so happy, like extremely happy. But it's crazy that, what I'm saying, just someone of Justin's stature is just like, hey man, let's go play with him. Like,
dude, even you, I'd be running 5-on-5 on the street and you roll up, Justin Brownlee rolls up. That's a special moment. That's a lifelong memory right there, man.
Special, man. Definitely.
You got Saul walking up to you. Hey, let me get that ball. That's different, man.
Yeah, it was a cool moment for sure. So we have a question here from Facebook Live. We know that you are one of the toughest defenders in the guard position, defending people who are even bigger than you are, defending imports at times. But one of our fans wanted to know which player you had the toughest time defending?
Which player had the toughest time defending? That is a tough one. I would probably say earlier in my career, Jimmy was one of them because he's so little. I don't want to say, but he's super fast. You know what I'm saying? He was really a deadly 3-point shooter. So you had to play up tight on him, kind of like Steph. Because why Steph is so able to get by his defenders is because you have to play so close to him. Like they call it obviously Jimmy country. Like he could shoot it from anywhere, so you got to pick him up really high. Paul Lee's a tough matchup. Because he's kind of the same way. He could shoot it from anywhere. And they run a lot of sets for him, run him off.
And you've had legendary battles with Paul Lee. You've had really nice ones, huh?
I love going against Paul. Those were good times, especially the Manila Classico ones. You know, obviously, you know when he got over there, those matchups in front of all the fans, and those matchups were great. I would say my toughest matchup though would be Justin. I would guard him in practice.
Oh.
And I had to play the mental game with him. And I feel like, I don't know if he'll ever see this, but, you know, people that know, like, I would really talk so much mess to him in practice. And I would foul him on purpose and then say it wasn't a foul. And I feel like I really prepared him for guys that defend him in the game, because I would, like, really get into him and, like, foul him, talk mess to him. And it was good times. But he's incredible. Everybody knows, like, you could do whatever you can against him, and he's just incredible. Also, Mark Kagiwa, in my younger years, Mark was a killer, straight killer.
Talking to some of the coaching staff over there, especially Coach Richard, and they keep telling us Mark Kagiwa still gets it done in practice, and he's just in incredible shape. That's why the minutes he gets, however, the lack thereof minutes, he just leaves it all out there.
Yeah, Mark. There's days you just don't know with Mark. Some days he'll have it, and some days he's just kind of chilling. That obviously, you know, that's how it is as a vet. But there's days where he has crazy energy, and he'll come out and just kill everybody. And it's like, you know, at his age, you're like, damn, like everybody. He's just coming down, and we play, you know, 5-on-5 and he coming down scoring every single bucket. Like he gets it done still.
From the time you stepped on the PBA stage up to this day, is there anybody who can match your trash talking? Is there anybody there who can keep up with you? Carlo, I'll tell you this story first before we let Saul answer. This guy, young rookie, maybe a sophomore in the PBA, he'd go over and watch the PBL games live. Chris Ross would be playing there for Parex, and that's his boy. And Saul would do nothing but talk smack to Chris Ross all game long, upsetting Chris while he's playing. I thought they'd be getting into fights, but that's his boy too. I remember the quadruple double of Chris Ross.
Yeah.
Saul was like points, rebounds, assists. He had 9 turnovers. Hey, it over one more time. We did a quadruple double and everything. Man, and that was your boy. That wasn't even somebody you were attacking. That was just your boy.
Yeah. I remember that time. I was just going to say that. I remember the time that I was like, man, you could be legendary. This is your chance. Win a few opportunities to get a quadruple double. Like, go ahead. Who cares? Just turn it over. Like, I remember that. But yeah, man, that's just what I grew up around. And it was, people had to get used to it out here because obviously the culture is different. But like, I grew up around, you know, my uncles, my dad, and just everybody and it's all out of love. It's just, you know, it's just to push and get the best out of everybody. And I've always just been that way, to talk mess and talk smack on the court. It gets my competitive flow going. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I've always been. But you asked me if there's anybody that can match that. There's the person that comes to my head off the top of my head, he does it in a different way, is Mike Cortez.
Really?
Oh. But he doesn't like talk mess the way I do. Like he does it in like subtle ways. Like he does it in ways like, oh, you're feeling good today? Like, oh, man. He'll talk about random stuff like, hey, what size shoe you wear? Like he just talks on the court, and you're like, why are you talking to me like that? Like, what are you saying? Like, or if he cuts you off, like, I knew you were gonna go that way, or something like that. Like he's very subtle at the way he talks, but he talks a lot on the court. It's pretty funny.
He's got his own way of throwing you off, huh?
Yeah, his own little way.
A follow-up question to that, Saul. Of course, when you were a younger player, a rookie or a sophomore coming from the States, talking smack, a veteran would feel bad about it. I would bet. Did it ever get physical because of the way you talk?
No,
you remember an instance?
I remember like when my first few years in the league, that's just kind of how I was. I was like going at everybody. And I remember one time, Jeff Curriaso, this was, I think we were playing in Antipolo, and I might have had like 35. And Coach Tim was the coach over there. And I was just talking so much mess because they kept going under screens and I was hitting threes. And I was like, why y'all keep going under? I already got 30. I was like talking all types of mess, right? And Jeff was like, why do you have to play that way? Why can't you just play the game? And I remember like, because I had a lot of respect for Jeff because just for what he's done in the league. And he was towards his last year or couple years in the league. And that kind of actually hit me, was like, man, this veteran's kind of like telling me like that I don't need to do that. Because he did it in a way of like, he wasn't really mad, but he was like, why do you got to do that? Like, you don't have to be that way, and I was just kind of like, yeah, maybe I should pick the time of people that I do it again. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I should. And that's what kind of like made me calm down a little bit with it. But I mean, I still talk mess, but it's to people that, that I know, they know my personality and that I'm just playing or whatever to just try and get the competitive juices flowing. But yeah, I mean, that was one time that I could think of someone really getting like, you know what, like, you don't have to do this.
Aside from that moment with the Jet, we got a good question from Limuel Padua. What was your welcome to the big league moment? Welcome to the PBA. Was it running into somebody or what was it? We've heard legendary stories about rookies going through screens or whatever. What was yours?
This is a funny story. We were playing against Ginebra. And I was doing the same thing. I was driving in and getting scoring points and stuff like that and talking mess. Mark Kagiwa. And there's a video that surfaced around me and Mark yapping at each other when he was like at the free throw line or something like that. I'm not sure if you guys seen that. But it was because I was getting to the hole and scoring and talking mess. And Mark goes, I think he told, I'm not sure who it was. It might have been John Ferrios or Billy Mamaril, one of them dudes, was like, the next time he goes in a hole, y'all hurt him. Send him on the floor and hurt him. Get him out the game. And I looked at Mark and I was like, what? You want him to hurt me? Like, that's how y'all play the game? That's how you gonna play the game? Like, you want him to hurt me? Obviously not knowing that that's how you do it out here. You know what I'm saying? But so I got so mad and because I went to the hole and one of them like really laid into me, and I remember getting so mad at Mark. But that was my moment where I was just like, okay, this is a little different.
So did you talk about it when you were teammates?
Yeah, we talk about that. Because Mark was like, I wasn't just gonna let you come in and steal my shine. He's funny. Mark's one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet. That dude, if y'all seen his TikToks, he's hilarious.
I couldn't believe he was on TikTok, actually. Because a long time ago, the legend has it, or rumor has it at that he'd skip the All-Star weekend just because he didn't want to dance. That was just a rumor, though. And then now you see him on TikTok.
Dancing for free.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that legend.
So you have to talk about the handshakes, man. I mean, what led to the birth of all those signature handshakes with all your Barangay Ginebra teammates?
Obviously, you see LeBron do them, with all his teammates, and that was something that I just kind of took. It was like, that's pretty cool to have, a unique handshake for each one of your teammates, the camaraderie you have. The moments that you can do, like a little secret handshake, and it means something. So I took that from LeBron and just kind of ran with it, and all my teammates loved it. and it was cool. It was something that we all did before the game or in moments during the game that we can do it. We did it. It was pretty cool. But yeah, that's where that was birthed.
Mago?
Of course, all of those days with Barangay Ginebra, everybody, all of your fans cherishing it, and it looks like from just how we've been talking right now, one of your favorite times in your career. But then you got shipped out over to Northport. Can you talk us through what was going through your head during that time?
That right there was probably the toughest point in my career. Obviously, I felt like I found a home at Ginebra. I found, a coach that I felt believed in me, and I thought I was going to finish my career there. So that one really, really hurt, man. That one crushed me, and I didn't get over that for a long time. The reason Coach Tim is the one that called me when it happened. Me and Coach Tim have a great relationship. And he had told me that he traded me because he thought it would be a good opportunity for me to take what I've learned from him and everything in Ginebra and share it with other teams. And he didn't want me to. He said he felt like I still had more to give to the game than to have my minutes be very limited with Stan coming over. You know what I'm saying? Because he was saying that he would have to balance the minutes of LA, Scotty, Stan, and me. So he didn't want to have to worry about me getting upset or being mad on the bench. And actually, I wish he would have asked me before he did it, because I would have been fine with sitting on the bench. I'd have been right next to Mark, and me and him could have been just chilling and however we could help the team and lead the team, it'd have been cool. I would have been okay with that, So when he sent me over to Northport, it was tough. I was over there and I felt almost a shell of myself. Like I didn't know how to be, because I was so used to a system, and then they wanted me to play a different way. They wanted me to play like the old Saul, the Rain or Shine Morocco Saul, and that was something that I felt didn't translate to wins, and I wanted to win. You know what I'm saying? I was so used to winning. I felt like playing a certain way translated to wins, and I felt like me playing a certain way earlier didn't translate to wins. You know what I'm saying? So you get accustomed to winning basketball, and that's playing together, moving the ball, talking and everybody touching the ball, and not one person going one-on-one. Coach Kirk always talks about player movement, ball movement, timing, what I'm saying, making the extra pass. And that wasn't Coach Padot. Not to put a knock on Coach Padot. I think he's a great coach. But that wasn't his style, you know what I'm saying? So when he wanted me to kind of just come out there and not do that, that was hard for me to do, you know what I'm saying? And so it was a tough situation over there for me. I was, like I said, a shell of myself. It was two totally different styles, going from Coach Tim to Coach Padot. Like they're complete opposites, polar opposites, the way they coach. So that was tough for me. But those guys over there, like the players, they're awesome. You know what I'm saying? The way that they all play with a lot of heart. And I enjoyed my time being there with Sean and the way they see how they work. And I try and take a piece of everything, a piece of every place that I go, not just in basketball, but in life, and try and grow from it, so I'm going to try and grow from that situation. It wasn't a situation I wanted to be in anymore towards the end of my career. Like I want to be in a situation where I want to help a team win a championship, and that's what I care about. And I feel like I can. I feel like I could contribute to a championship team and play a role and really bring, my experience and leadership and get to that team. And I feel like Northport is still kind of trying to rebuild. So it wasn't a situation that I really wanted to be in.
And then comes the move. You get shipped over now to Phoenix, but nobody really knows what happened. And if you don't mind, can give us some detail up to what you can give us. What happened with that? You never got to suit up for the Fuel Masters.
So I got traded to Phoenix, and I was actually pretty excited about that. I feel like they're a team on the verge. I feel like I could really help that team. I feel like Coach Louis is a great coach, and he's a defensive minded coach, and I feel like I could really fit into that system. So I got a phone call from them, and I got a phone call from my agent, Charlie, and he said that they really were over the salary cap, that they were trading for me because I had an expiring contract, and they were able to trade 2 guys that had live contracts, you know what I'm saying, to kind of help their salary cap issues. So they really didn't have much intent in signing me at all.
Oh, okay.
So when I got the phone call, when I got back, they told me not to come to practice, which was pretty crazy because it was crazy to me because in the media and all that, it was making it seem like I was just missing in action, like that they didn't know why I wasn't coming to practice, that, you know, but they were the ones that told me not to come to practice because they had a bad experience of a player being there before that didn't sign and ended up signing with another team and like knew all their plays or whatever.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And so they didn't want me to be there if I wasn't going to sign or be with the team, be in their practice and know their plays. So I had even reached out to Coach Louis because I saw an interview of him saying something like, we don't know where Saul is. And, you know, so I reached out to him. I told him, hey, Coach, I would love to play for you. I would love to be there. But they told me not to come to practice. And Coach Louis was like, hey, I understand how it is. And you know, hopefully things will get done. So I actually never, I guess they were looking for a trade for me or whatever, but then they had to just release me because there was no offer there.
So in between, Saul, I saw you putting in work with Coach Jimmy Alapag, practicing with Alab Pilipinas, who are then playing in the ABL. But I mean, at the start of the season, you were not listed on any roster. What is the next stop for the Soul Train? What's the plan from here on out?
I mean, I'm just trying to stay in shape. I was using the opportunity to be with Jimmy to just stay in the gym and be in shape. So I was ready in case, you know what I'm saying, a team did call. I was trying to reach out to teams that I was interested in. But at that point, at that time that I reached out to those teams, a lot of teams' rosters were already filled. And they all said that they had no idea that I was available. They all thought that my rights were with Phoenix and that they would need to trade somebody for me or whatever. They had no idea that I was a free agent and they could just pick me up. So all those teams had full rosters. So I would have to wait. My plan is to try and stay in shape, get in the gym again with Jimmy when all this stuff is done. And hopefully when a team calls, I'll be ready. You know what I'm saying? So when a roster spot does open up, hopefully with a team that you know, is on the verge of winning a championship, whatever team, you know, at this point, like I really miss playing. So at this point, you know, if there's a team that calls, like I would definitely take, you know, heed to that and interest in it. So just trying to stay in shape, stay ready. I know I still have a lot of basketball and a lot of experience that I can help a team. So whatever opportunity comes up, you know, I know that God got me and I'll be in the right situation wherever he puts me.
I think you explained this earlier on already, but just to have it clear, you're not looking to join up with the team and be the main guy, score 30 once again, just like when you were with Ross. You're just looking for somewhere where you can help out with your veteran smarts and still your skill set at that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that like I said, I don't feel like me coming in and trying to score 30 translates to wins right now. You know what I'm saying? I know I can still contribute in a way of being aggressive and attacking and breaking guys down and getting guys open. But I just want to kind of fit into a role, you know what I'm saying? And I know that I could defend guys. I know that I know how to play the game. I know how to catch on to plays and get guys open shots and help out a team. And that's just what I want to do. You know, with my experience that I've had, you know, winning championships and whatever. being with Coach Tim, obviously the best coach, in my opinion, the winningest coach in the league, and taking things that he's taught me and implementing it into whatever team I can.
So before we let you go, just a quick message for all the people who have supported you throughout your career, to all the fans that you have right now who are hoping to see you still playing in the PBA in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, the fan support is amazing. Obviously, even not just from fans from all over, but the Ginebra fans. I mean, I still get messages till this day of them hoping I come back and hoping that I'm just successful again and playing again. The love has been amazing, and I appreciate it. I try and be in contact through Instagram and Twitter with my fans as much as possible. I'm not one of those, not to knock any of the other players that don't have time, but when I do see a message from a fan, I try and reply right away, and my fans know that. I'm very interactive with them, so continue to interact with me. I love you guys, and thank you for all the support that I've had through these 11, 12 years in this league.
And before again we let you go, can we just request again for you to mention your 3 GOATs, but put Kobe last so it's easier to edit.
Hey,
I enjoyed it, man.
I've always respected Kobe. For real, like I've always respected Kobe. I love the way that he approaches the game. It's just people would always put him against my favorite player. So, what I'm saying? I would always have to go at that, So that's just where that lives, God rest his soul. Rest in peace, Kobe.
Thank you so much for your time, Saul. And hopefully after this quarantine period, after all of this lockdown and all that, hopefully everything works out.
Yeah, hopefully all of us could get back to playing, man. I really don't see it's going to be tough for us to get back to a contact sport after all this, saying, especially playing in front of fans. So I hope everything works out. Prayers for all the, those that are infected, to the frontliners and all those that are helping out. We appreciate you guys. You guys are the real heroes, and continue to stay home for everybody. Do your part, stay home, try and stay healthy, stay active, and be sanitized.
And on that note, Saul, thank you so much for joining us here on 2OT. All the best to your future. And once again, we thank you.
Appreciate you guys, man.
For your time.
Anytime.
Thanks, man.
All right. Peace.
And that note, we close this episode of 2OT Live. See you again next time for more conversations with our favorite PBA personalities here on 2OT.